3 weeks here, I'm going to drive this piece of junk van up to Alaska. At least attempt to. Got a whole lot of work ahead of me yet. First item of concern is this brake drum here. First noticed it making some awful grinding noise earlier in January when I was down in Florida. I thought it was something to do with the CV joint. I rebuilt one with 3 different parts. It's a story for another time. Somewhat related with that. When I was up the CV joint issue first popped up when I was up in Minnesota. So I had to jack the van up and investigate it, had the wheel off. Then it fell off the jack and right onto the brake drum. So I'm doing some investigating here, see if it has something related to do with that. That'll explain the noise right there. Wore right through the brake shoe. Bare metal on the drum, so not pretty. Next item of concern on the list is the electrical problem. Here we got the dash apart so I can do some troubleshooting. The problem in question is one of the headlights not working when I want to, as well as some of the other accessory items like blower fan and the window switches. So I was consulting the wiring diagram, seeing if there's a relay in common. And some basic troubleshooting. Curiously enough, it would pull the headlight stock back. I get everything working, but only get 10 volts where I expect to be 12. Consulting the wiring for the relays, testing those. Well, I think that over and we'll pull the roof rack off. Got to modify that to add some more junk on the roof. It's always heavier than it looks. When I took it off, I discovered the roof rack had worn through the paint on the roof. So I was going to primer and paint it, call it good. Back on the electrical front, I found the issue. The relay, the ignition switch had gone bad. So pulling out my spare parts box and I'm going to replace it. And pull the horn off, steering wheel. I don't need no stinking steering wheel pullers here. Disconnect the wiring. Carefully pull that off so you don't break anything. And there's the bad switch. And throw the new one in. Testing it. The power window's what I expected. No monkeying around. Don't worry about the sound it's making. It does that. Well, I've got to work on placing some coolant lines here. Of course, underneath the air filter box, the mass airflow sensor. It's pretty easy to pop out. The reason I'm replacing it is it's starting to wear through. I think the air filter box is resting on it when it shouldn't be. So I just duct taped it and some cardboard over it before I went down to Florida. Got me down to Key West and back, no problem. But I'm going to replace it so I don't lose all of my coolant somewhere in Alaska. Throw the new one on. Well, unfortunately the brake drum that was on here was well worn out of its tolerance, so I'll get a new one. And I got new pads. Unfortunately, I did not get new brake hardware, so just be sending it with the old ones and hopefully nothing blows up. Only by the looks of it, this piston here is seized, which I could have known if I actually took this apart and looked at it earlier, but I did not. So now we're backlogged another day or so, then wait for that part to come in. And while I'm waiting for that, might as well order the actual hardware for this. So go and do it right, I guess. at 6 and saw the most amazing aurora in my front yard. Yesterday I clocked out from my job for last time, and that was the last source of income for who knows how long. And in about an hour or two I'll be walking my graduation, and that'll be the last thing I have on my calendar, apart from rehearsing with my band one last time and then hitting the road. So the long journey, and who knows what's next.